This is Joe Pryor of the virtual real estate team in Oklahoma City and Tulsa. We now have a completed contract, and so the next thing is construction. Now, one thing I want you to know is that most builders in Oklahoma City and in a lot of parts of the United States are independent builders. In other words, they're not like a big national builder that may be publicly traded and so they can just sell some more stock. The builders that we have typically have to go to a community bank, not a big bank, not a national bank like a Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Chase. They go to a smaller bank, now maybe a multi-billion-dollar bank, but it is a bank that focuses primarily on builders in their locale. And so it can be typically as much as 30 days after we do the contract before construction starts, mainly because then it's got to go through committees, it's got to go through all the bureaucracy that a bank has. Now, in some cases, it's not that long. So I have some builders that have a great relationship with the bank. They're under their credit amount that they're allowed. And so what they can do, and very often they can just go get money immediately. And in some cases, they'll go ahead and buy the lots and they'll get permits even. And so that construction can start in a week or 2 weeks. Now, weather permitting, construction typically takes about 4 months. And so then we have that extra month for a lot of the builders in terms of before they can actually start construction. And so that's a 5-month period. Now, for instance, this year in May, we were 8.5 inches above normal in rain. So you can imagine if it rains every 4 days, then the ground never really dries up. And that can delay things. So we normally, when we do a contract, we allow for 6 months. Of course, the contract says on or before that date, but we want to make sure that weather permitting, that we can get that in a timely fashion. Now, again, if there is a situation where it's under construction or finished, it's a whole different situation, but still, we are going to give you updates. If it's something that is under construction, we're going to tell you when it started. We're going to tell you about when it has a slab, when it has framing and a roof, and once the roof is on, things start speeding up because you're covered, because then that's electrical and plumbing. Then the next phase that we're going to inform you about is sheetrock. From sheetrock, we go into trim. From trim, we go into paint. And then we start putting our countertops in, our appliances, our plumbing and electrical. And then finally, the outside is done. For instance, we don't put in a driveway until the end. We don't want heavy trucks cracking the concrete. Sod has to be laid, landscaping has to be put in. And then the final aspects of fence blinds, garage door openers, everything it takes to make that rip ready is got to be done. And even if it's new construction that's finished, there may be some of those aspects that are not done, like the fence blinds and garage door opener. We're going to update you at all those phases. We want to make sure that you're a part of the process, and if there's any delays, we want you to understand why those delays are there. Now, there's one other kind of delay that can happen, is that all these phases have to be approved by city inspectors. And that's a good thing. We want to make sure that it meets code, that it's done properly, and until that is passed, they can't go on to the next phase. So if there are any delays, we are going to inform you. You are part of this process. You're extremely important to us. We know that communication is crucial. We also have a communications director now. That's her responsibility, is to make sure you know all of these things. We've got a great team together. We're going to keep you informed until we get to that final closing. Now let's get to that next phase. This is Joe Pryor of the virtual real estate team in Oklahoma City and Tulsa, where we deliver traditional real estate values at the speed of technology.